Hello and welcome to this week's Vodcast for Thursday, November the 11th with me, Kevin Ross, for an easy listening digest of the week's news from the Melton Times. Coming up, your money, your council, your say, as the borough faces £1.1 million worth of cuts. Give us your views. Museum's new £1 million gallery opens, a blue plaque scheme bid for Melton, and finally in sport, Ian in training for the Transplant Claims. All this and more coming up next in the Melton Times Vodcast for Thursday, November the 11th, 2010. And on the front page of the Melton Times this week, the Melton Council is facing a £1.1 million cut in government grant funding over the next 4 years and wants you to have your say on its budget. The council says a shake-up of its senior management team and the move next spring into new headquarters off Burton Street will all help to cut costs and make efficiency savings. But with the council set to lose a huge 28% of its government grant, local services from grass cutting and waste collection to car parking and tourism are bound to be affected. There's an online survey, and the survey asks if the council, which has an annual budget of about £7.2 million, provides value for money before looking at specific areas, which include street cleaning, Christmas lights, community safe working, arts projects and much more. The questionnaire be completed on melton.gov.uk, or you can call the customer services on Melton 502 502. And by all means tell us what you think. Email the editor at meltontimes.co.uk. The first ever Melton Santa Fun Run or Walk is to be staged in the Country Park on Sunday, December the 12th, and entries are now open. The Rotary Club of Melton Mowbray is hoping 400 plus people of all ages will join in, and the Melton Times will be with you every step. Entry is £10 for adults and £5 for children, and includes your free Santa suit and medal on completion. The Rotary will put any proceeds from the entry fees back into good causes, leaving you free to raise sponsorship for a charity, school or club. For more details to enter, go to meltonsantafunrun.co.uk or ring 482 480. Placing the final objects on display at Melton Carnegie Museum, staff are preparing to open the doors on a new £1 million gallery on Saturday. The state-of-the-art gallery is themed around life in rural Britain and will give visitors an insight into how the countryside in Melton has responded to the changing world. Interactive displays will reflect the home and family life as well as working life in the borough, and will also feature topical subjects including transport and the diversification of the rural economy. Entry to the museum is free. A doctor has thanked a fellow GP who saved his life and other villagers who rushed to his aid after he collapsed while out on a run. And now Dr Tim Jennings of Hobie aims to raise funds for the air ambulance, which also played such a crucial role in getting him to hospital so quickly. He also wants to raise awareness of a rare condition which has caused his collapse, a congenital condition called long QT syndrome, which is a disorder of the electrical system of the heart and nothing to do with heart disease. Tim and his wife Sally, along with a group of other local supporters, have since formed a committee to help raise funds for the air ambulance. More than 100 people attended a Bollywood night held in Hobie Village Hall on October the 16th, which raised a fantastic £1,850. And the committee has set up a Just Giving page to raise even more for the Angel of the Skies. justgiving.com/Tim-Jennings.
Hi, this is Alan Duncan, and you are listening to the Melton Times podcast.
A businesswoman has battled her way through to the final 10 candidates in the hit BBC One TV show The Apprentice. Supporters of Joanna Riley, understood to be from the Melton area, were hoping she'd be kept out of Lord Alan Sugar's firing line in last night's show, where the two teams were challenged to create branding and advertising for the new multi-purpose household cleaner. The teams were tasked with producing a spotless TV and radio advertising campaign and try to impress with their pitching to ad agency heads and industry experts. Do you know Joanna? Call the Melton Times on Melton 412 521 and share your stories. Melton is bidding to join the Blue Plaque scheme to commemorate the lives of 3 historical figures. Sir Malcolm Sargent, Lord Cardigan and Thomas Cromwell all contributed to the town's heritage in some way. Melton Civic Society are hoping that if plan permission is granted, all 3 plaques will be put up in Burton Street in time for the new year. The first plaque, earmarked for the Anne of Cleves pub, will commemorate Thomas Cromwell, 1st Earl of Essex and Lord Chancellor to Henry VIII. Sir Malcolm Sargent was an internationally renowned conductor and composer who contributed greatly to the Melton area in the short time he lived in the Manor House property, 29 Burton Street, between 1914 and 1924. The third plaque to be placed on the listed building, known as the Cardigan House, 55 Burton Street, will commemorate Lord Cardigan. James Thomas Brudnell was the 7th Earl of Cardigan and led the charge of the Light Brigade in the Crimean War of 1854. A Racy Sports Club calendar will be launched this weekend in aid of Dove Cottage Day Hospice in Stathern. Hamilton Tennis Club off Sandy Lane in Melton asked staff and members to take part by posting semi-nude or in fancy dress around the grounds of the club. The print run of 500 calendars will go on sale for £5 each at the tennis club and the Voodoo consoles in the Bell Centre from Monday. And also on sale for good causes, super swimmer William Hawkes and his sister Laura have officially opened the Cards for Good Causes Christmas shop in Melton. William, a Crowson Kerry, was chosen for the honour after swimming an amazing 500 lengths to raise £810 for Arthritis Research UK. Laura, a swimmer herself, suffers from juvenile arthritis and undergoes monthly treatment. The shop is open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily until December the 16th. A proud group of about 20 Polish citizens from Melton attended a special presentation ceremony at Town's Polish Club on Sunday. The group of Meltonians, along with a couple of people from Loughborough and Leicester, were presented with a Siberian Cross during a decoration ceremony at the invitation of the Consul General of the Republic of Poland in Manchester. The Polish government instituted the Siberian Cross in 2004 to officially recognise the enforced deportations between 1939 and 56 of Polish citizens to North Russia, Siberia and Kazakhstan. And continuing, veterans and their supporters will be remembering the nation's fallen during ceremonies today and on Remembrance Sunday, November the 14th. Melton's traditional wreath laying will take place today at the memorial outside the Royal British Legion at Sherrard Street at 11 in the morning. Short services will also be held at 11 today in Syston, Long Clawson and the Waltham, where Waltham Primary School will lead an act of remembrance at the War Memorial. And in free time this week, the talented students from Brooksby Melton College Performing Arts Academy are staging the popular 80 musical Footloose at Melton Theatre until Saturday. The Tony Award nominated show, based on the 1984 film, tells the story of a life in the small town Beaumont, USA, and its newest arrival, Ren, a city kid from Chicago who is struggling to fit into the way of life where dancing is a crime. Tickets cost £10 for adults and £8 for concessions, all available by calling the box office on Melton 851111 or visit meltontheatre.co.uk. And staying with music, a musical trip down memory lane is on offer at the Melton Baptist Church in Leicester Road this weekend, when it hosts its second sing-along on Sunday event at 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And in Long Clawson, there's a food fair now in its 12th year. This will be held in the Village Hall on Saturday, November the 20th, from 11 till 4 p.m. The event will be opened by Anne Davis of East Midlands Today, who lives in the village. The Frisbee Players have chosen a 2-act murder mystery called Murder at the Manor for their autumn performance at the Village Hall on Friday, November the 19th and Saturday, November the 20th. A supper of sausages and mash with a glass of wine and soft drinks will be served during the interval. Saturday night is a sellout, but some tickets priced at £10 are still available by ringing Melton 434084 or email tickets@frisbeeplayers.co.uk. Melton Choirs in the Pink and Nota Bene will be forming a variety popular programme in aid of Homestart Melton and Rutland on Saturday, November the 20th at Sage Cross Melton Church. Tickets cost £8, including light refreshments, and are available by ringing 561247 or 850-681. And finally, on the big screen, don't miss Les Mis. On Sunday, the Regal Cinema will be screening Les Miserables in concert, the 25th anniversary show recorded live last month at London's O2 Arena. For more information, ring the Regal on 562251 or regal-melton.co.uk. And finally, in sport on the back page, Holwell Sports will be hoping familiarity breeds success on Saturday as they attempt to make club history in the FA Vase. Victory at Holbrook Sports would secure Holwell's place in round 3 of the Vase for the first time and put them in the draw with the non-league big boys as they enter the competition. And finally, sporting all-rounder Ian Preston is calling on local expertise to help prepare for a global championships next summer. Ian from Melton has earned the selection of the UK squad, which will travel to Gothenburg in Sweden next June for the World Transplant Games. He didn't need a second invitation to accept, having been unable to travel to Australia for the 2009 World Games. The main point of the Games, however, is to promote organ promotion and the new lease of life it can offer to the seriously ill. Well, that's about it. Of course, the full stories can be found in the Melton Times. So until next week, when we'll have yet more news and sport, have a very safe week. That was your JK Media production for the Melton Times.